Hello everyone, and compliments of the season. It is another festive season and I will be hosting the show alone today. I am Nyma Akashat Zibiri. This year on the show has been amazing and the feedbacks we got alone is pushing us to want to do more for you. We love you all, we appreciate your kind words and your criticism as well. And 2020 we believe is going to be greater. The show is bumper packed today. You do not want to miss any part of it. I will tell you after the break. See you shortly.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Welcome back. This year, I personally had lots of issues that I complained about severally on the show. Issues like traffic on my road, Apapa gridlock, tank farms, satellite town tank farms, and the response from government was swift. I won't say impressive, but swift. This is to let you know that government actually listens when we talk on the show. Did you miss any of those episodes? Watch this.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So, for the past few weeks, Nyma has always come up on the show every single time talking about her area, Ijegun community, the satellite town. And one of the four things she has always highlighted is the fact that the waste management issues, the road leading there, the Lagos-Badagry Express Road is bad, blocked drainages, and the tank farms that just keep springing up everywhere. So those are the four major things she's always talked about. So we have the entire community, many members of the community here on the show with us, joining us to discuss this matter. But before we go into this conversation, we have with us the Honorable Minister of Works and Housing, Minister Babatunde Raji Fashola, on the phone. Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. Hello, sir. Are you there? Hello, sir.
Good morning. I am here.
Good. All right, so I know you have to rush for a meeting, so very quickly, could you give us an update on the work being done on the Lagos-Badagry Expressway?
Yes, I am here, and let me...
Hello? Hello, sir. Hope we haven't lost that call.
If you can hear me...
Okay, we can hear you now.
Good morning. Let me say first that I must commend you ladies for the great work you are undertaking there and bringing the plight of people across Nigeria, and particularly this Agnes, to the foreground. We are also aware in government. So, and let me apologize to the people of that area for the inconvenience they are currently undertaking, and say very categorically that things will get better. And I say that because something has changed. For the first time in decades, the entire stretch of that road has now been contracted out. So that was not the case before. Now, the process to contracting, execution, and completion will take some time. We also need resources. You have had government saying that it's looking for money, so all of it. But we have contractors on all sections. Now, let me break down the sections. There's a section from Eric Moore to Okukumaiko, which was the one I undertook when I was governor. We completed it up to Festac, and my successor, I believe, continued. Now, there's a section from Okukumaiko to Agbara. That is the very bad part. That's about 9 kilometers. FEMA has brought a proposal for rehabilitation to the Federal Executive Council, which was approved shortly before the end of the first term of President Buhari. The last section, which is from Agbara to Semeboda, is about 44 kilometers. We also have a contractor there. So federal government is doing Agbara to Badagry, Okukumaiko to Agbara, and Lagos State government is in charge of Eric Moore to Kukumaiko.
Okay. All right.
Now, that said, let me provide some context. This road was opened around 1974-75. At that time, there was no, all the population you have there now wasn't there. So you have Full Town now, first tax built, and people living there. You have a university fully built, people living there. Okay. You have a trade fair that used to open once a year. Now it's a daily shopping center. You have so many things that have been built there. So that was what necessitated the decision to expand it from 2-lane dual carriage to 10 lanes.
Okay. Let me pause you for a quick second, sir. Go ahead.
Okay,
Nyma.
so thank you, sir, for usually accommodating my calls on the road.
What needs to be done now is to appeal to people to be patient with government to execute this work.
All right, let me pause you for a quick second, sir. I want to get in one question. Just one question.
So the contractors in charge of that road are presently working on the service lane on both sides now, especially the service lane turning from the trade fair. But as we speak, when they are working, they just block off and cut off the community, the satellite town community entirely. So when you're driving through, you have to get all the way down to turn. And that's another bad road. So if you don't know the alternative roads within communities and out, you can't get home. You have to do a one-way from Alakija to get into satellite town as we speak on the service lane. Are the contractors not aware of, the structures of the road, or is there someone not, is government not supervising what they're doing so that the alternatives are created as long as they're working?
You see.
Yes. Go ahead, sir. Hello, sir. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Go ahead, sir.
Let me again say that there is always room for improvement about how things are done. What I can identify here is the need for better traffic management. The responsibility of the contractor essentially is to build and as much as possible provide signages and diversions. How best those work are matters of the knowledge of the local traffic management authority, where to divert to and which place to divert to. And I think the community development associations and also can and should engage with the contractor. But what I undertake to do today is to speak to the Corps Marshal of the Federal Road Safety Commission to liaise with LASTMA in Lagos State and the contractor and see how best this diversion can be undertaken.
I have to let you go, but let me just throw in one last one. The community members are here, Minister. Can you give us a timeline? Yes. When do we expect that this road will be completed leading to Badagry?
I think the entire road works should not exceed 24 months. That does not mean it is after 24 months.
2 years.
I think the entire timeline should be about 24 months, but that does not mean it's only after 24 months that you will see relief. As certain sections are completed, they will be opened for use. I am aware now that between Agbara and Badagry, 12 kilometers of it have been laid with earthworks and laterite. And once the dry weather starts, they will start surfacing that part. If that part is finished, it will be opened up, and so on and so forth. Of course, these are subject to the availability of funding. The contractor already is asking that he should be paid for some of the works he's done, so we're trying to mobilize resources to the contractor. Please bear with us. All
right, I'll let you go at this time, Minister. Thank you very much for joining us on the show, Minister Fashola. It's always a pleasure having you. Now, coming back to...
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, sir. Now, obviously, so that's concerning the roads. Now, going to other issues. I know Nyma has said issues of waste management, blocked drainages, and the terminals, the blocked terminals, and also the fact that we have the tank farms. Now, we tried to get DPR. Unfortunately, they did not accept our invitation. We really wanted them to be on this show. We reached out to the Commissioner for Environment, and he's asked that his PEMSEC for drainage, the engineer in charge of drainage, should actually be here, and he's going to be here very soon to discuss all the issues. He also asked us to speak with the MD of Loma, who we've called since yesterday, I sent him a message also. The producer also tried to reach him. He hasn't responded. So at least we have one person in the studio who can respond to the issues on waste management and blocked drainages. But let's talk about what your plight as regards the terminals, the blocked terminals. Let's start with that.
Thank you very much, viewers, and it's a great opportunity.
Okay, I forgot to introduce you. You're Chairman, Satellite Town Forum, Governor Imitini, and the Vice Chairman, Satellite Town Forum, Mr. Navy Captain Bayo Adekoya. Welcome, gentlemen. Sorry about that. Forgot to properly invite them. All right, so go ahead, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. The issue of the drainage that you just rightly said, I want to tell you frantically that Satellite Town has no drainage system at all.
Okay.
It has not, because all drainage in satellite towns are being handled by individuals. That is the area that Lagos State Ministry of Environment should have come in to look at it and see, because the town planning itself within a satellite town, I can say, is horrible. The fact is that the proper planning is not there. And then we are close to the sea. That would have even made it more cheaper and easiest way of diverting the flood and the rainwater to the lagoon. But this is not, it's absence of that. We don't have it at all. And the little one we manage to do ourselves, it is being blocked by tank farms. As I'm talking to you now, people are wearing rain boots in their homes, in their room, bedroom, the kitchen. Is as bad as that. We have the visual of it. The whole place is flooded because there is no proper drainage. And which, not that no proper drainage per se by our own individual effort, but the tank farm is seated on the water channels.
The chairman of the tank farm owners has said that they have been engaging with the community actively since they started operations there. Yeah. So you telling me now that there is no drainage, what has their engagements offered you people?
They have not. I'm saying it loud and clear to the Nigeria as a whole, that the tank farm has not done anything. They have not improved the community in any form. In terms of the drainage we are talking about now, the only drainage they did is within the tank farm itself to service them, whereby the community is blocked off. So the water coming from Finanja, if you may know the area very well, down to Ijegu, then before it gets to some of those estates there, as I'm talking to you, particularly let me mention NNPC, NIG, and NPF is fully flooded as I'm talking to you now. You understand what I'm saying? So they have not done anything. And the worst part of it is that from Stepping Stone down to where they call Holy Family Hospital, there is a drainage system that would have been an open drainage system. Okay? But they went and used rings. Nigeria is not advanced to that. It is in UK, I can know that maybe in the Western world, that developed country that they can use. In Nigeria, where you throw pure water, throw all sort of things, and nobody cares about that. Okay? Now, that one is blocked. No matter how you clear it, it can never be opened.
So, this is a residential area by establishment. When the government established the towns, the satellite towns, and the communities around it, it was supposed to be a total residential area.
Absolutely.
As we speak now, the DPR is licensing all these operations. Also, there's springing up of bonded terminals for containers for clearing that's under the MPA everywhere around that corridor. How exactly have you tried to meet government to discuss this commercialization of a total residential area without putting amelioration or prerequisites in place? Because certain facilities should come before that commercialization. I'll take a response to
that question after this quick break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. All right, so before the break, Nyma asked the question which you're going to respond to. Yes, go ahead, sir.
The question of maybe DPR have been issuing licenses. I think that's the question you asked.
And the
terminal as well. In the aspect of DPR, we've made a lot of contact with them. We've written letters, correspondence. We've met them on one-on-one in the office, at least to discuss the issue of putting a stoppage to more tank farms in Satellite Town, precisely. And just last week, we went and did a protest there over the issue of expansion. This time around, we have about 13 marketing companies already there, and there are 2 that we've just, they want to issue a license to again, Northwest Nigeria Petroleum, and then YTK, which they said, I have to be sincere with you, DPR has confirmed that to us that they will never issue such a license because the place is already choked up.
Okay.
Okay? And then the problem we're having again is this, that the existing ones that are already there, the existing ones, they are expanding. Why are they still expanding? And if you look at it, assume this is
what does expansion mean? For those of you that have no idea.
Expanded, that is building more.
More tank farms.
They want to build more tank farms.
So you have more
the tank
tankers.
farm is, yes, then you now have more tankers. As I'm talking to you now, presently we're having over 500 trucks that comes into that place
That's a fact.
on a daily basis. And when they come in bumper to bumper. So the issue of fire outbreak, the danger which I want to express is this, which we are calling for the federal government and the state to relocate them. Because we cannot coexist with this kind of business that they are doing. It's highly inflammable. Okay? Why? On the 22nd of last month, a tanker failed between Finanja and Dantata.
Yes.
I think I sent it to DPRO as well, and they are aware of it. Event of that, on the 24th, another one fell in front of Satellite Town Secondary School. Oh, God. And the students were asked to go immediately.
To go home.
To go home. And the following day, because the vapor and the smell and everything, the odor is still there, the school did not resume. I was on ground throughout that morning hour till 5 p.m.
Okay, so obviously,
I have a question.
Then, I'm coming, please. Let me just say this. Why we are talking of that, and you know the road to the tank farm is very narrow. Okay? That can easily, it can't accommodate 2 tankers. If it does, definitely there is a small part left for other road users, which is not possible. Why we are talking on that, there is a container terminal that is coming up.
A new one.
A new one coming up in a built-up residential area, Liverpool Zone 2, by Jackie's Nigeria Limited. It's coming up. And we have written to the, people are saying that, look, you people are not talking. We've talked now. All government agencies. We've written to Lagos State Ministry of Environment. We've written to Chippers Council. We've written to NPA. Even NPA were not allowed to enter when we went to do our protest there. That we cannot enter. We cannot demonstrate. But we told them it's our right. We have the right to demonstrate. Okay. So they should relocate Clarion, bonded warehouse in Alakija, Ablo-Osun, container terminal, the new one that they are just setting up there. If you just go and view that place, they've stacked already up to how many height of container?
Okay, let me get a
So clearly, it seems that nobody really cares about the human beings that live here. But you know, I know some people that work with DPR and have asked questions. I've asked if they go and do inspections, and they say they do inspections and they also revoke licenses if they see that you have breached, you know, the plan. Yes. Okay. So do you see, does DPR come to that area to do these inspections? Do you see them do these inspections?
Okay, let my advice.
Let me say this. This is a good opportunity, and we are very grateful to you. Let's start with DPR. DPR is ultimately complicit in all the transgressions that's going on in that satellite environment. In fact. One, there is dereliction of duty. Two, there is serious sense of insensitivity to human beings that live in that environment. And why I want you to please listen to this now is that Apapa, where they used to use, even if they don't use it now or in there, the situation that they have seen and reached there was even after they have done the environmental impact assessment, and they got to that very ignoble situation. What is the evidence that satellite town will not go worse than you have had? What's the evidence that it will not be replicated in satellite town? We are perpetually vulnerable. The human beings that are living there are carcasses of themselves. They cannot sleep. They cannot rest. The tankers you are talking about, within the space of 5 days, 3 different tankers are falling on different venues. Now, you are talking of conglomeration. The one that happened in Onitsha was one tanker. One. Now you have had, not imagining, 3 within a space of 5 days in a highly populated environment.
Yes.
Leave the level of vulnerability. Are you considering the magnitude of the consequences? If this were to happen, there will be fatalities, there will be mortalities. Is it then that the people and government will not be running around, scatter, doing what? Preventing loss of life that will have been prevented earlier, where there be sanity in the environment? The fella said suffering and smiling. I want to tell you that we are not only suffering, we cannot smile. Because the transgressions we are going through is unbearable. Let me tell you about the environmental hazard that have been perpetrated by this catastrophic thing they came up with. In my estate, Finaja Estate, the next building to me, they by 2:30 a.m., after the NNPC tanker had fallen down in front of a secondary school, that students were not able to, the odor there permeated with emitting very offensive odor, making that place inhabitable. Yes. And yet you are supposed to be an habitable environment. It is not congenial, it is not conducive. People are living as if they are dead. It is not supposed to be. No. And that is why we need to appeal to the conscience of people at all strata of governance. That human beings are meant to live in satellite town, not dead bodies.
Sir, how many?
Not dead bodies.
Because I don't want us to just lament.
Yes,
it's important that, yes, because Nyma talks about this every single day, so we know of these issues. One of the reasons why we wanted to do this show is so that we can have people who are in charge to come and give us feedback. So we have somebody in our midst. He's the engineer, Shudende. He's actually the PermSec for drainage services. I would like to bring him on the show after a quick break. Let him tell us what he's doing concerning issues, because there's no drainage. There's
no drainage.
Let him come and discuss, tell us that.
District,
after that, we'll now go back to the issue of DPR. Let's go on a quick break. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Is the Permanent Secretary, Drainage and Water Resources, Lagos State, Engineer Olaleko Shudende. Welcome to the show, sir.
Good morning.
So you heard earlier that they said there are absolutely no drainage available. There's no proper drainage available in the satellite town area. Is that correct?
That is well. Let me quickly clear something. There are various classes of drainages, and my office is responsible for just 2 classes. One is a primary channel, which is the main channel that takes most of the runoff from the community. The other is what we call the secondary collectors, the intermediary between the drains in front of the tenements and the primary ones. Those are secondary collectors. These are big channels that take runoff across channels. We don't do street drains. Okay. That is a purview of the local government, right, the street drains. So I need to clear that. So when, I think the chairman, right? Yeah, when the chairman was talking, he said there is one. Actually, he first said there is none. Then I said there is one, that is a conduit. Because a conduit is a drain that is underground. It's a very perfect system. Because if you have to do a drain that is so deep, about 4 or 5 meters, you can't make it open. Okay. That's going to cost a fortune. Right. So, I mean, watching it is just a volume of maybe 1 by 1 or 2 by 1. But you have to have a burden of maybe like 6 meters deep. So you can't do a wall of 6 meters because you want to allow people to dump refuse, because that encourages refuse. I mean, the best system for Lagos today is to have covered drains. Okay. Because, yes, I mean, if you're an engineer, ask any engineer, they will tell you, because a drain is supposed to carry water and silt. It's supposed to be a suspension. And if this is what you allow to flow in the drain, there will be no blockage. Now, this particular channel that we talked about, I mean, it's been a running battle between the residents and the government. Right. We have always, explained that there is no how this drain can be opened. Right. Because it's coming from NFI. There's a low-lying area.
Is that what you're asking for, an open drainage, sir?
Yeah, an open drainage.
Is that what you're asking for, open drainage?
Yes, that's what they say. Okay. That because we provided a closed drain, they're not happy. They want it to be open.
Not being happy.
Did you take into cognizance the activities happening on that area? Because we were explaining to you that tankers now ply a one-lane road. And of course, they will climb on a covered drain. So you might have it blocked from within because, of course, infrastructure is depleting.
Excuse me.
That's what it's saying.
The drain will do its work irrespective of what happens on top of it. Okay. What goes on top of a drain, but mine is for the drain to be effective. Right. There's low-lying area upstream. Okay. That's the catchment we're targeting. And from the upstream to the most downstream, it will collect runoff as it goes. If this drain is there, whatever you do on top, we have drains that flow under roads. Right. Not just,
so my question
these are possibilities. This is engineering correct.
All right. Okay.
So the only thing I want to add, which I agree to, is that yes, the drain is blocked. Not blocked because of its naturally designed process. Okay. Because people in the community open the channel and dump refuse. We have been there over and over. We've picked out sacks of refuse, tires that ordinarily wouldn't enter a channel if not purposely dropped into it. Right. So, it takes two hands to make a clap. Exactly. Government has provided infrastructure as inadequate as it is. It might not be all over, but there is one.
Okay, so I just want to know what the original, may I ask what the original intent for that drainage is? What exactly would it have solved? What exact...
I told you, there is an area upstream, NFI, it's part of Satellite Town. Yes. You see, we target our channels to catchments. We don't do road drains that will pass in front of your house and my house. Excuse me, So there is an area, a catchment. So this drainage will serve that catchment. Okay. And all the way downstream to the final discharge point.
And you don't collaborate with the local
and there are inlets. We don't have to flow into a drain from the top. There are inlets. Okay, think of Ikorodu Road. Think of Bankantoni. These are roads that were constructed old, years ago, not by me, before when I was a little boy. They're all conduits, they're barrels. They're still existing. Because people won't go there to dump. Okay. But the moment you challenge a drain, it becomes ineffective.
I know that the people that are involved in this one, I'll come to you, man. Let me go ahead, sir.
Say, engineer, that is your discipline. I am not an engineer, but I have native knowledge, okay?
And you live there.
And I live there of whatever drain is all about. It doesn't, I don't need to have to go to the university. I'm coming to go and study engineering before that place, what we are telling you, that can solve that situation, the terrain difference.
Okay, we heard you. I need you to pause for a second. We heard you. Open drainage, according to you, works for your community.
Yes.
Let us understand where the government is coming from. Let us be clear. Yes. Go ahead, sir. So they are saying that's what they want. You're saying otherwise.
Water does not flow up.
Okay.
Water flows down.
Yes.
Water can only rise up.
Right.
Now, you have a community that has varying topography. Yeah. We have flooding in the NFI area. There's a community called NFI in the community that is low-lying. Let's say the community is here, the drain has to flow this way. This place is like a hill. If you have to do an open drain, at some point, we need to dig more like 6 meters. That is uneconomical. Okay. It can be done. So when you do your levels, from where you're taking the water to the downstream, you need a straight line gradient for you to have energy to flow. Yes. Right? Yes. So water won't go up and down. Because if the water has to be opened, for us to achieve that flow, at some point along the alignment, we'll go 6-7 meters. So we're not okay, let's do the barrel, the closed drain. At least it's cheaper, we need a 2x1, let's just take underground and we'll discharge. So this community is being served. Because if we are serving this community midstream, we could do open drain. Okay. That is the truth. Right. But because the tech community is this area, that has to be a conduit drain. Because you design your infrastructure, not for, I'm coming please. Along the line, when this drain is going, there will be inlets
We get
that will go into it. You see, let's just rubbish technology. Let's imbibe it. Let's make it work. You see,
If technology does not work, if technology does not work, you have to rubbish it.
Chairman, excuse me.
If I missed that was like you said.
Chairman,
because the issue that
excuse me. Let's learn. Every day, let's learn.
Yeah.
We are learning.
Now,
Quickly ask.
excuse me. When there's flooding, you don't stop it. You manage it. They call it storm water management.
Yes.
Flood control.
Yes.
You don't just provide infrastructure and a magic will happen. You have to control, and your lifestyle affects it.
Right.
Okay.
So let people in satellite stop dumping refuse.
That's very important.
Statement of
Don't challenge government. Challenge.
Okay, point. Let me, one second. And let me, sir, sign it. One second. Let me let Nyma jump in here.
So you are very correct that we must live, our lifestyle must also support government.
Absolutely.
But then again, government cannot fail first and expect lifestyle to just support. So how your job is as a state to build the conduit, as you explained, you're not in charge of the inlet. How do you collaborate with the local government and make sure that what they need to do is done? Number two, what they need to do as a town planning department or whatever town planning has to do within your state government is done as well. Because this problem that you're saying is beyond human. These community members that you're seeing here, I can testify to you, will come out every time it rains to clear the drainages.
God bless you.
They will clear the drainages. I live there, I've seen it done. It's done over and over, and then you have flooding. As we speak, what is beyond them is what is happening there. The commercialization in that area makes tankers drive over drainages, collapse infrastructure, and then we have to deal with that as well. You can't sit here comfortably and tell us that we are ignoring technology when you have not even provided infrastructure in the first place.
Yes, sir, go ahead. One second, sir.
Thank you for that. When you talk of synergy, governance has 3 tiers.
Okay.
Right? We're talking about my tier of government now. Yes, there's collaboration. I'm sure any road constructed would have a drain. Government won't construct a road without a tertiary drain.
Right.
Right? As I'm talking to you now, because of this tank farm, I don't know, I can't talk for DPR.
Right.
I can't talk for physical planning. I don't know how the approvals are given.
And
but I can tell you for a
could.
fact that there is a committee that is sitting in Lagos State government thinking about the problem within our purview. I mean, how can we best, relate with this? The Marwa road that leads to the tank farm is being proposed to be upgraded. Most of the internal roads within the community is being proposed to be upgraded. So it's a work in progress. And all these things, the government is not taking over even more. I mean, the state government is now taking over some local government responsibilities to make sure that the satellite people have some.
I think the problem we are seeing here is more than just having the infrastructure on ground. Who is in charge of maintaining this infrastructure? We have a problem of maintenance. You can't just keep something there and you're not coming to see how it's working, if it's effective, if it's serving the community. Who handles that bit?
You see, government ought to maintain. But ought to maintain, I use my words carefully. I choose my words carefully. Ought to maintain. And we are responsive to that, highly diligent about that. But when people intentionally, I will say this, because it's a way of life.
This is labeling.
I'm not talking about satellite. I'm talking generally now.
Okay, except
I'm talking generally
because I will not take that.
Chairman, please, I'm not being personal.
The community.
I'm not being personal.
Okay.
Look at channels. Let's talk generally. Look at Lagos as a whole.
Yeah.
Tell me which drain hasn't got refuse.
Almost all.
So it's not about satellite town. I'm being generic now, please. So please, if I offend you, pardon me. I don't mean to. I'm sorry. It's just where we find ourselves.
We
are fighting for the welfare of our
we design the channels for water and silt. When we talk about maintenance, we say desilting.
Desilting, yeah.
That is the common word we see. We're not the refusing or the garbaging. I mean, if it's correct English. But what we're doing now is basically garbage cleaning in the channels. And government has got that deep pocket to just keep coming back
to clean.
So we also have to take responsibility on our own part.
That's because if the PSP is allowed to work, pay your PSP for your solid waste. Sustenance requires that people pay for services rendered. Then the channels will work effectively, and this because a channel has one thing, we call it self-cleansing velocity. Because, I said it, water needs energy. Once the water is flowing, the sediment will flow out.
Let me take this comment from our audience. Go ahead, sir.
thank all of you for this subject, and most particularly the TVC for this audience they are giving us. One is that the drainage that we are talking about, somebody has talked about the serviceability, the servicing, the maintenance, because that is actually where the problem is.
Yes.
It's not just enough to install a technology.
Exactly, I agree with you.
It behoves on the ownership to also maintain. And people, the residents of Satellite Town are also maintaining all these things. Let me even assure you, as I have said severally, that look, if you pick even a grain of sand in Satellite Town, it was dropped there by an individual, not by government. And that's the basic truth.
Okay.
Now, besides that point, because we are talking of the drainage, the one that is upland, then the downside, there is absolutely no drainage.
No drainage.
You talk of the desilting. The Mara Road drainage is not desilted.
Okay.
All year round. If you go there now, water runs on surface.
Okay.
Now,
Right.
right inside on Pioneer Road, that where the town farm say they are doing a road for themselves, they do a drainage that is up, not down, and thereby cutting off the community. I don't know what. There should be an authority that is supervising all these things. You don't just allow private establishments to be doing what they want to do and what they wish to do, and thereby punishing the people, punishing the residents. And that's what.
Let me get one more comment from. One second. I have very few.
Finally, there are two
Sir.
companies that are blocking drainage, and we have been fighting them. We are talking of rain oil and we are talking of chippet.
Okay.
The drainages that they deliberately went and they blocked it so that water does not pass there. Thank you very much.
Let me just take one last comment from the audience.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. The point is that the engineer should know that this community has engaged your predecessors for so many years. We've taken many of your engineers to the site where we've shown you the devastation, the problems that are in that community. For so many years, the various tiers of government have ignored the community. Satellite Town, nothing is going on there. That's the truth of the matter. We have several meetings. We've had pictures, video pictures that we've sent to your offices telling you the problems we're having. Virtually every estate, virtually every road is waterlogged anytime it rained. And we pointed these things to you, and you guys have ignored us several times.
So we have very few minutes, and I'd like you to end. So now that you've heard everybody, tell this community what you're doing to make their lives better.
Okay. On the long run, I said on the long run, there's a study, there is a committee packaging a proposal to tackle the issue of the road, the drainage, and safety, fire response to whatever. But looking at the entire picture, approval and everything, that's going forward. But in the immediate instance, every channel we have other channels that are primary channels, not gutters that people will see. I promise you, as I'm living here, even before I got here, they were proposed. I mean, government all year round maintains channels. Unfortunately, madam, I've gotten to, what's it called, Satellite Town. But this particular conduit is always very critical to us. And I can assure you, I'll work with the chairman. We will take videos when we're walking. Whatever we evacuate, we will all see.
No problem.
You understand? But we will work. I can give you, in the next 1 week, we will be in Satellite.
Beautiful. We are going to hold you. I like that handshake. I hope the camera is getting that handshake. So we are going to use this handshake to be on camera. Okay? So we're going to hold you, Engineer Shodainde. So we are holding Engineer Shodainde to ensure, and please, thank God you have Nyma. The moment you see that work is being ongoing, let Nyma know so that she communicates to us. If it's not happening, we'll come back to him.
It will happen.
And we'll hold him again. Thank you so much, sir, for coming.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Welcome back. For a while now, every Wednesday, we've had live audience shows with some extra dedicated fans who make it a point of duty to be here every Wednesday. And we do not take that for granted. We spoke to some of them and they gave us their favorite episodes. Watch this.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
I'm Kehinde Aditola Bamidele. I'm into real estate. I'm a big fan of Your View. Well, before I started watching Your View, I had a wrong perception about this program because of the gender, all ladies. But as time goes on, when I started watching the program, I begin to enjoy the program because the program has impacted my life positively. And not only me, my wife, and my children, because it has now become part of our daily lives. You see, this program, it has really helped to put the public office holder in check. It has really helped them to be accountable and to be more responsible to the people that voted them in office. So I love the program so much. You see the ladies, many of them, some of them are very, very objective, in their presentation. Then the program I love so much happens to be the Father's Day. That was my first day on this program. I was privileged to be among fathers that very day. I learned so much from them. They shared their experiences, and that has really helped my marriage today. I learned so much about forgiveness, loving your wife, and create this atmosphere with your children. So it's a program I love so much. I really love the program so much. It has really helped me. And with this Your View, you get to keep yourself abreast of the happenings around you, so you get to know what is happening. So it's a program I love so much. And one thing I will never forget about Your View, the first day I came to Your View, I was given a 10,000 naira voucher to shop at Others Mall. So that for me, it has really left an indelible mark. So I will never forget Your View, and I will keep watching it. And though I'm not regular on the show, but whenever I have the opportunity, I like to be part of the live audience show. And it's a program I love so much. Please keep watching Your View.
Welcome back to Your View.
Yes, so thanks for staying with us. So we have our lovely cake from Cream Slices again. Thank you very much to Cream Slices for this fantastic cake, and also to Others Mall for giving us gift vouchers for our fathers. Don't worry, I'll show you later towards the end of the show. Now, in commemorating the World Father's Day, which was on Sunday, we're going to be celebrating our fathers today. Now, before then, on our Hot Topic segment, we'll be asking fathers in the house these cogent questions. Would you like your son to be like you? And can you allow your daughter to marry somebody like you?
Honest answers.
Joining us on the show is a veteran broadcaster who is also a grandfather, our Citizen Jones Usen in the building. You can join the conversation on 07080668014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag Your View TVC so we can read your tweets. I'll come to the audience because we want to hear your answers to this question. But I'll give you the honor of starting. Would you like your daughter to marry a man like you?
I don't know if it's a fair question, Ekaite, that's my daughter's name, or Jane, who is also in this crazy business. Grew up trying to keep up with my temperament. Okay. I'm temperamental, okay. Short. And mine is so short. But beyond this door, my temperament is gone. We quarreled a number of times, but I'm sure in her heart of hearts, she would say, no, if you stand behind this man, they consider me stubborn. I guess I'm stubborn with a cause. Don't cheat anybody. I won't like it. It doesn't say because I'm a believer or not. So the answer to the question is, I don't know. I don't know.
What?
Hold on. In my part of the world, the Ibibio country, there's no descent person to marriage. I know if it send you as my daughter to go and marry. You leave the cards face up on the table. But let me, I hope it does not spoil your morning. There's no love in marriage. I've been a father 35 years, a grandfather 6 years, husband, father 37. I've known my wife close to 39. So
cumulatively, you could say this is a man who has spent how many years on the road?
40 years.
More than
40? So let each year represent a mile. I've walked 40 years, 40 miles. And so in your mind's eyes, this man has gone, 40 years on the road. So as a father, I can tell you this. A number of fathers, my colleagues, are too indulging of their children. I don't like to hear fathers say, oh, this suffer way me I get, I no one make my picking suffer. It's a crazy thing to hear.
Okay, let me pause you for a second because I don't want you to, I want us to
Yes,
stay on this topic.
You know, when she asked that question, I've heard this question asked before, and I've heard other people answer it like, well, I was a different man at different stages in my life. I was a different man when I was in my 20s and my 30s, and maybe now that I'm in my 50s and my 60s, I'm a different sort of person. So I would hear them say, the person I am right now, I would advise my daughter to be with the sort of person I am right now.
Okay,
So through your passage, through like your 20s, 30s.
Are you trying to bend me?
I'm just asking. So in your 20s, 30s, are there any differences that you might think, okay, the person I am right now may have...
Let me tell you this. I was stubborn in my early years. In my first college, I got expelled, not because I was not bright, but my first principal became a senator in the Second Republic, Senator Kemte Giadom from Ogoni land, bless his soul. When I joined Radio Nigeria, I had to interview him. He had forgotten. So I met him, introduced myself. The name was lost on him. And after the chat, I said, distinguished, can you identify this face, if not the name? I'm the man you expelled. And the expulsion got me into this business. So thank you.
Oh, wow.
I was stubborn, as I told you.
Let me pause you for a quick second because I want to send that question back to our audience because we have fathers in the house today and the objective is to have this heart-to-heart conversation with men, generally fathers. Would you allow your son, or your daughter actually, to marry somebody like you?
right now.
Right now. Let me come to you, sir. It's okay, it's on. Go ahead.
Good morning, girls.
Good morning.
Good morning, Brian and others. Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir.
Our guest. About the question, personally, I will like my daughters to marry somebody like me.
Good for you.
The two sides. Though I don't have money as much. I can say I'm a middleman. Then, right from the beginning of my marriage, I'm trying as a man, as a father, first of all, to care for my wife before we have children. Then after we start having children, then I started struggling to care for the children that God gave me.
You have no choice.
Yeah, I have no choice. But some men, they don't care. Whether they have choice, they don't have choice.
So you would definitely care for your children?
I determine on myself that I have to struggle to care for my
Okay, let me pause you for a second, because based on that quality, you like your children, your daughter to marry a man like you. Okay. But it seems a lot of men here are reluctant to answer that question.
Yes.
Congratulations.
And the reason is the man treats the wife different from how they treat their daughters, or how they treat their children. So the side the wife sees from the husband is not the same side the children, especially the daughters, see from their father. So growing up, women or young girls see their fathers as their hero. But the wife who is married to the man sees some other sides that those children do not see. And so when you ask a man that question, he's thinking in his head, the way I treat my wife, would I want the husband to treat my daughter like that? Because
that way. Let me come to you, sir. Go ahead.
All right, good morning, everybody.
Are you a father? You look
Yes,
like a
I'm
young
a
man.
father of two.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't look father, right?
Go ahead.
I'm a father of two. So, to be sincere, I will want my daughters, fortunately I have two daughters, I want them to marry to someone like me.
Okay.
I'm sure their mom will also be saying the same thing.
Okay.
Yes, because beyond financial obligation, beyond whatever reason you may think of, it is important that you get a man that is God-fearing. I wouldn't say I'm God-fearing 100%, but once you lay hold of a man, whether the man is stubborn, is inconsequential, whether the man is not too financially okay, is inconsequential, whether the man is whatever, but as long as you are God-fearing, you see, the God factor takes care of almost everything you need.
Okay, let me pause you there because we want to take a lot of topics in there. So you mentioned something right now. Stubborn is inconsequential. To you, it is. But to the spouse or the wife that is living through your stubbornness, it's not that easy. It's not funny. No. So when somebody says being stubborn is inconsequential, to you. But let me let Nyma jump in here. We'll come back to our fathers.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Yes, Nyma.
Amazingly, I used to pray the prayer that may I marry someone like my dad. So my mom used to say, you live in a bubble. Your dad is your superhero. He's always been there for me. And this is the first person to talk to on any issue. Nothing, there was nothing strange to talk to my dad about. So my mom used to say, stop saying that prayer. And at some point, she told me, when something happened in my marriage, immediately I got married, just 2 weeks into my marriage, she said, I told you your dad was abnormal. Because your father is too modern. And people will think that he's strange. The way he raised us, we never knelt for him. And my aunties will come as tall as they are, go on their knees to say hi or to greet him. And we were never raised that way. So my mom said, you see, that's where the clash of interest will happen, which is why I kept saying, pray for your own spouse. But I'm happy because what I used to use as a parameter was responsibility. Someone who would never turn his back on his children. We were 4 girls. My native name was Oyomoholo because I was a third daughter in the same line of a family full of sons. And my father used to, that was why we were bonding. Used to try to make an example of me and say, no, you're nothing, you're not as bad as everybody. Look, you're the best thing that happened to me. To have girl children was a good thing. And so we bonded because of that. And the day he explained that name, I saw emotions. I wanted someone who would bond with my daughter like that. Someone who would, and thank God today. That's the relationship between my husband and his daughter.
Let me come back to Citizen Jones. Because, I mean, we'll probably come back to the question a bit more. But I want us to go into the challenges of being a father, especially in this country. There's a lot of pressure on men. Even from a young age, secondary school, you feel a young 16-year-old, 17-year-old who has a crush on a girl, you're already thinking, what do I want to buy her to woo her? He's constantly thinking that I have to give. Tell us that journey of being a man in this country. How did you surmount that ability to overcome the challenge of being a father?
I start this way. In the Usain clan in Akwa Ibom State, when I announced my engagement to Helen, she's an Efik woman. You people call it Efik. I'm Ibibio, she's Efik. The difference is dialectical. My people would say, who sent you go marry Efik woman? And my question was, why? Efik woman, they're good for girlfriend and so on. 39 years after, they're still waiting for make she go, you know. So you look at 39 years, living with a particular woman couldn't be, you don't need to read anything from any book. She is my book. And thankfully, Helen and I are in broadcasting. I met her on the job. She knows the intricacies of the job, the demands. I come late, I don't quarrel. I mean, she does not quarrel. She comes late, I don't quarrel. See, in course of time, I had to go to the market, buy cooking things. These days we have the GSM, but there was this landline. Helen, I don't buy this, buy this. Okay, do this for me, do this. I do all those things. She comes back, what she does will be cook, and then we eat, and so on. When I said there was no love in marriage, it it will trouble a lot of people. What sustains a marriage is friendship, nothing more, and trust.
Powerful. Friendship.
And so take it a notch higher. Befriend your wife, befriend your husband. It works. What you do for your girlfriend, do it for your wife. There'll be no palaver.
Should you have a girlfriend, sir?
Check it. No. Give it to me. Yeah. What you do for your girlfriend, do for your wife. It works like magic. And there's no potion anywhere. What you call potion. There's no potion that will induce love, because that will be artificial. And what you read, I find it very, very reprehensible to have a single lady behind the microphone advising married people. It is also odd to have a single guy advising married people. And please, Mariah, help me talk to the religious barons in this country, and they are watching me, I imagine. Let them, they can do, because they have power in the tongue, they can talk to fathers. Let them be, you know, at a particular church, a young pastor had to come between a couple that had been married for a number of years. And the husband asked him, "Are you married?" The man said no. You have no right to go and call your bishop, and so on. The bishop came. Bishop, don't do this. You be the one to speak to me. That's part of the problems with fathering. My friend there has 2 daughters. He talks about, we talk copiously about loving God. If we love God, does God love us? If God loves us, are we loving him?
Let me pause you for a second.
Yeah.
Because I want us to bring this conversation to why mothers or women generally have this perception that men are babies, they are unable to take care of themselves.
And when they behave like babies, you people quarrel. Go on.
Okay, so we have an issue with men when it seems as if they're not capable of holding that responsibility as a father. Today, I mean, let's fast forward to 2019.
Responsibility is also relative.
Okay, we'll come to how relative responsibility is. Because a lot of young women today are taking on the role of father and husband in their homes.
You are blowing it out of proportion.
Okay.
You know, morale, it's like this. It's a give and take thing. I hear the life cycle, the expectancy rather in Nigeria is 50 how many? 40, whatever. I'm waiting to be 70. I can't wait for it. I'll be 70 April 4 next year. So in 70, just say I've beaten the whatever it is. The woman is supposed to be the neck that turns the head. When the shoe is in the other leg, what should you do? So where is the love element here?
Oh, you just told us with the love.
Hold on. No. I'm saying, so where is the love element here? If the really love was there, when things turn the other way, why do you chase love out the window? That's our trouble.
Sorry,
hold on.
With him?
Yes. Okay. He's making a strong point.
No, don't agree with me. But Ralph Waldo Emerson said the tragedy of the human race is that it will die eventually of civilization. Now the social media has taken over families, and you hear all sorts of terrible things. Are you happy with, do you think single parenthood is African?
No, I don't.
We didn't have it.
I just think it just happened because some people have put away, shirked their responsibilities. So some people had to take it up.
And it goes for both male and female.
I agree.
Now, a lot more women are more happy to be mothers without being wives. And again, it pays them. It pays them. Look, start from the wedding day. The wedding day, hold on, sorry. Moray, I'm sorry.
We have to go on a break. We have to go, but I want us to...
That's the problem with talking with...
radio guys, so you don't know that we have to cut you off a little. But let me, I have to go on a break, but when we come back, women are frustrated with their husbands daughters are frustrated with their fathers. We need to get to the heart of the matter.
And not the other way around.
Well, we talk about the other way around all the time. Today we are focusing on your role. It's fathers today.
I agree.
The issue of alcoholism, domestic violence.
Side chickism is cute.
What's the one?
Side chickism.
Side chickism. There's so many of them. So we'll discuss that when we come back. Then we'll also be right back. God bless you. Side chickism.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Welcome back. 2019, was a tough year, but was a year full of blessings for me. 2019 was a year that saw the whole of my residence and Lagos turn into a construction site. So coming to the show was a bit tough. It was a lot tough for me in 2019. Most of the time, I'm caught on the Apapa-Woro-Shoki Expressway to work because it's under construction, so I get here most of the times late. If you were following this 2019, you would have seen some of those experiences that I suffered. And, I called on all the agencies and, a lot of them would respond, yet there will be no improvement. Some there will be improvements. I believe that 2019 was a blessing. Despite all that I just stated, it was a blessing because I started my rice business and it's growing fast. And the firm has been good. It was tough, but we got back on track. A lot of things have been working well. Family-wise is good. On the show, I've had the opportunity to bond with my colleagues better. I think that 2019 brought us closer. We've grown past our differences. And it's, for me, a good thing. It's something to celebrate. Yeah. It will be better in 2020, yes, because in 2020, I'm looking forward to better things. I'm looking forward to growth individually for all of us and, a collaborative effort by all of us to grow each other again and to continue to serve you because, you see, your view is about what happens in the society. I personally do not waste time to talk about things I see around me that are not working well. I do not waste time to call on the agencies and government parastatals that I think should serve us and are serving us, and they're not serving us well. I got a few shocks on the show by learning about certain things that we're not willing to change, pension laws, the discos and the gencos, no generating, no power plants, no growth. But I'm hopeful that government will stop paying lip service because we're not going to relent as a show. We'll continue to talk about these things. So I would like to thank the whole production crew because the truth is, without them, there will be no us. Starting from the makeup room, I'm not going to mention names, the entire makeup team, from the gates, in fact, to the people who welcome us every morning, and to the makeup room for those who put us together, those who provide the newspapers, people who put together the production, the topics, my producers, every single one of you, no names mentioned, every one of you have been amazing. Thank you for making us better. People see us outside and think, it's all magic. Thank you for being the magic behind us that make us, flourish. Thank you so much. And thank you for watching. Have a happy new year.